Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, a Republican plan for police reform is up for a vote today, but Senate Democrats are calling it irrevocably flawed. What the bill entails and why so many say it's not enough.
As coronavirus cases surge in many states across the country, including ours, a swath of local businesses, many newly reopened, are reporting employees who've tested positive. We'll have a rundown coming up.
They say everything old is new again, and now a business from bygone days is making a comeback, giving many a serious case of nostalgia. This is Wednesday, June 24th, 2020.
Good morning. It is 5 a.m. on this Wednesday. We are halfway through our work week, and boy, we are feeling the temperatures. We're halfway through a really long heat wave.
Yeah, I went for a morning walk yesterday. Now, it was mid-morning. It was already too hot, though, out there. I was, seeking the shade. It was kind of a good little game where I had to run to the next shade I could find.
Yeah, we hit 102 degrees yesterday, Maddie and Alex. Remember, our normal high this time of year is 93. 110 the record, and that was set back in 1977. Today, it's going to be another hot day, and we're going to add something to the forecast as well. And you can see here, we have the heat advisory still in place until Saturday at 8 p.m. for all valley locations. So it's definitely going to be hot out there. You can see on the satellite and radar, what do you see? Well, a little bit of cloud cover. And yes, some clouds have now wanted to approach out of the south. So we're going to call for some clouds today. That will increase humidity values. So it's going to be a little humid and hot as we go throughout our Wednesday here. 78 in Bakersfield currently. Our humidity at 42%, dew point at 53. We have a north wind at 5 miles per hour. Here's a look at the hour-by-hour forecast for you today. By 7 a.m., 79 degrees, 94 at noon. By 3 o'clock, we'll be right near 102. And then for the mountains, mid-60s to start. Humidity value at 64% right now. A calm wind for you. As we take a look at the wind forecast for this afternoon, we will see them pick up a little bit from Lake Isabella through Tehachapi and into the desert locations. And hour by hour, we're looking at some clouds throughout the day. Upper 60s to start, 86 at noon, and we'll be in the lower 90s as we approach the afternoon with that northwest wind at 14. More weather to come in just a little bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Kevin. As the reopening process continues, some states are seeing spikes in coronavirus cases. That has health officials once again stressing the importance of being cautious, especially in public. John Lawrence reports.
It's been months, but the COVID-19 pandemic still poses a serious threat in the U.S.
We may be sick and tired of staying home, but the virus is not tired of making us sick.
President Trump, who took part in a rally Tuesday night in Arizona, where new reported cases and deaths are spiking, has said he wanted testing slowed down to avoid higher case numbers. But some advisors aren't on board.
In fact, we will be doing more testing.
We're continuing to try to enhance testing. It's a critical underpinning of our response.
Johns Hopkins University reports there are more than 2.3 million confirmed cases in the U.S. and counting. So much so that the European Union might block Americans from traveling to its countries, according to two diplomats.
Unfortunately, we reopened too soon. We reopened also in not the safest way possible, and now we're seeing these surges all across the country. Basically, we're back to where New York was back in March.
Officials and leaders stress Americans need to stay vigilant, maintain social distancing, and to cover up.
The more we wear masks, the safer we are. And that's one of the things we can do to fight this virus so we can get our economy back and save lives.
Plan A, don't go in a crowd. Plan B, if you do, make sure you wear a mask.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The number of known cases in the U.S. doubles roughly every 2 months, according to Johns Hopkins University.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak here in Kern. Public health officials reported 84 new cases yesterday, but no new deaths. That brings our county's total to more than 4,000 positive cases. Our death toll still stands at 60. And right now, nearly 1,100 people with the virus are isolating inside their homes. 72 people are hospitalized. 44 people are in the ICU. 17 News has confirmed 31 employees of a local farm company have been infected with coronavirus. Primex LLC says 12 employees and 19 temporary workers have contracted the virus. Their first case was confirmed on June 10th. Primex is a pistachio processor in Wasco. The company spokesman says they've had protections in place since the stay-at-home order began in March, but the company says none of their workers had been infected until the lockdown was lifted at the end of last month. The company says everyone exposed was sent home immediately. They are also rolling out new requirements at work, including face masks. COVID-19 cases, an employee at Wool Growers has tested positive. That's according to one of the owners. The owner says that test was pending, and the employee received positive results yesterday. They shut their doors on Saturday and will remain closed until all employee results come back. The owner says they are not required to close their doors by public health, but decided it was the right thing to do, keeping employees and customers safe.
Dewars is still open after an employee there tested positive for COVID-19. The ice cream shop says the worker was exposed at home, not on the job, and other employees have tested negative. This happened to a worker at the shop in downtown Bakersfield. Dewars says that worker will not return until finishing the 14-day quarantine period. The U.S. Postal Service confirmed 2 employees at its post office in South Bakersfield have tested positive for the coronavirus. The employees work at the office at 3200 Larson Lane, east of Highway 99 and north of Plans Road. Postal officials say the safety and well-being of employees is their highest priority, adding they're continuing to follow recommended guidance and strategies from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Meantime, 2 employees at the In-N-Out Burger on Panama Lane have tested positive as well. According to the restaurant, the employees last worked on June 12th and 13th, adding those who worked closely with them have been tested. The restaurant was deep cleaned on June 15th and 16th, according to a spokesperson.
Auburn City Council members voted to extend the city's urgency ordinances, which means residents who do not comply with state and city mandates to wear masks can be fined. 17's Amber Frias reports.
While the ruling allows for fines that could cost residents up to $1,000, city officials ordered that education come first and that these fines only be used as a last resort.
Motion passes 4-0.
Through a virtual discussion, the Auburn City Council agreed they would extend urgency ordinances already in place locally and statewide.
This includes the statewide mask requirement order that the governor recently issued.
And the ordinance passed in recent weeks by the Auburn City Council that requires the use of masks by all employees at any business in the city and requires all businesses to post signs encouraging customers to wear a mask. What this provision does is give city employees the ability to take action on those not obeying the ordinances.
That particular provision or procedure would be either ranging from an infraction to a fine to a misdemeanor.
But the goal here is not to fine people. Mayor Jose Garola instructed the city manager to begin with educating the community.
If there are members of the public that are not following those orders, our staff can go up to them and reminding them, hey, these are the number of cases in Auburn. They're above average for what the population in the city should be. Here's a mask, put on a mask. And by the way, if you do not continue to comply with the orders, there's potential fines starting from $250 and ranging up to $1,000.
The city of Auburn has seen some of the highest rates of COVID-19 in the county. Recent data by zip code released by the Kern County Public Health Department reports that Auburn, a city with a population of just over 22,000 residents, has 164 cases.
If those numbers don't light a fire or anxiety in every elected official in Kern County, they need to take a look again.
Mayor Garola says he hopes the rest of Kern County can follow Auburn's lead.
Those numbers are frightening and should certainly, urge action into all those elected officials to do what we did here in Auburn and to have the ability to enforce the governor's order on masks, because we know the science tells us that is an effective way to slow the spread.
Amber Frias, 17 News.
And that's the subject of our 17 News Interactive feedback poll this morning. We're asking, do you agree with the Auburn City Council's decision to extend urgency ordinances? Call or text us at 888-4617. Press 1 if yes and 2 for no. You can also text, tweet, email, or Facebook your comments. Once again, that interactive feedback phone line is 888-4617. We'll hear some of your comments and have the first results coming up today at 6. Local families struggling to put food on the table can get some help today. The mission at Kern County has been handing out protein boxes full of meat and cheese every Wednesday of the month. The nonprofit says each box has enough to last a whole week for a family of 6. The final food distribution is today, 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at the mission, which is located at 821 East 21st Street. So the food is from the USDA's Farm to Families program. 5:10 now, a local boxer fights his way to victory.
Yeah, more on Miguel Contreras' 11th career win when we come back. Welcome back. 3 teenagers were arrested yesterday for a deadly shooting last month. That's according to Bakersfield Police. 19-year-old Paris Stinson and Mark Milner, and an unnamed 17-year-old all face murder and gang charges after being taken into custody yesterday. BPD says the 3 teens are accused of shooting Raul Dominguez on May 31st. Dominguez had been driving when he was shot on California Avenue. He drove a few more blocks before dying near Union. There have been 57 homicides in Kern County this year. New this morning on Sunrise, BPD is asking for your help finding a man connected to a theft at Hobby Lobby. Here's a picture. This all happened at the California Avenue location back on January 28th. Police say he likely drove off in a black Suzuki. If you have any information on who this man may be, reach out to police at 327-7111. Rush hour rage left one car crashing into a canal in Bakersfield yesterday morning. Take a look at this. When we arrived at the scene, the car was half submerged in the water. BPD says no one inside was hurt. This all happened just before 10:30 a.m. yesterday on South H Street near Hosking Road. BPD says the suspect, Abel Almanza, had been trying to run his car off the road along Highway 99. Once the 2 cars got off the freeway, BPD says Almanza rammed the other car from behind, forcing it into the canal. Police arrested Almanza a short time later. He was booked on a charge of assault with a deadly weapon. Due in court today, the former McFarland basketball coach accused of sexual misconduct. Fernando Pruneda is accused of inappropriate sexual misconduct with a player on the JV basketball team. It happened back in 2018. Court documents show that Pruneda allegedly told the student that if he did not do as he was told, he would not make it to varsity. Now he's due in court this morning for a readiness hearing. This hearing has been rescheduled several times in the past. A man accused of killing a baby back in 2018 is due in court today. Michael Johnson was arrested in connection to the death of 9-month-old Seraphim Ould Johnson. At the time, the baby's mother said the death was an accident. The coroner declared the death a homicide, showing she died of acute neck compression. Johnson was arrested in connection to the death. He is due in court for another hearing later today. A woman who pled insanity after facing charges of killing her own baby is also in court today. Elveria Farias is accused of assaulting and killing her baby in 2015. The baby's body was found wrapped in a towel near a Shafter Medical Center with many injuries. A judge previously found her incompetent to stand trial, but a Kern County judge backed the charges. Her defense attorney wants another evaluation on her mental health. Today she will appear in court for a hearing. Still to come this morning here on Sunrise, money mistakes might keep you up at night. What more than half of people say that makes them lose sleep when we come back.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Oh, welcome back to your 17 Business Watch. If you're losing sleep over money, you may need to grab your financial security blanket. Bankrate.com is out with a new survey this morning. It shows that 47% of U.S. adults report losing sleep, at least occasionally, due to a money issue. But perhaps surprisingly, that's down from 56% from last year. In fact, all of the top financial reasons for keeping people up at night were down compared to last year. The ability to pay everyday expenses is the most common worry. Saving enough for retirement, healthcare, or insurance bills rounded out the top 3 financial reasons for losing sleep at night. While many businesses have been struggling during the coronavirus pandemic, one industry that many thought to be a thing of the past has a major resurgence. Linda Baccaro explains.
Before the early morning fog burns off, and before most of us are up, Matt Maroney has put in a full day as the milkman.
They see us delivering or see a news article say, I never knew, you guys still do this, you're still around. And we say, oh, we're never gone.
I don't know if it's just a cold bottle coming out of the fridge, the ice cold bottle, but there is a difference, I think.
Adrian Amorosa has been a customer of Westchester Milk for more than 5 years and appreciates the weekly doorstep delivery now more than ever. Fears over food shortages and the convenience of home delivery are what convinced Mariangela Fiorenza to sign up right after the pandemic hit.
So being able to have Westchester Milk, have whatever kind of milk we wanted, know it was available, and have it brought right to our door so we didn't need to go in the stores was really helpful, especially, we were really scared to get corona.
This is the whole milk with the cream on the top, so you got to shake it.
Matt says he and his partner business, Manhattan Milk, have seen a 60% increase in home deliveries, but a big drop-off in orders from offices and schools. In addition to dairy products, Westchester Milk offers fresh produce and meats, and recently they've even added water and paper goods. There's a $20 minimum for orders, plus a $10 monthly fee, which covers delivery. Mariangela says her father compared prices.
It was $1 or $2. He was like, that's the delivery price anyway if we were delivering from ShopRite or delivering from Acme.
While other milk delivery companies are limiting new clients, Westchester Milk says they hope to keep the tradition of the milkman alive even after COVID-19 goes away.
Coming up the next half hour here on Sunrise, police reform is on the agenda again today in Washington. Democrats are expected to thwart efforts Republicans are putting forward. We'll explain what that means coming up.
Thanks, Kev. Moving forward or going nowhere, lawmakers in Washington are trying to debate police reform today, but Democrats who've been pushing for reform are expected to block it. Our Capitol Hill correspondent Tracy Potts has that story this morning and explains why.
Good morning. Democrats have been pushing for reform, but they don't like this plan. They think it's a bad place to start and argue it's a watered-down version of what really needs to happen. Republicans' police reform plan up for a vote today.
It's about those youngsters who today are afraid to jog down the street or get in their car and drive.
Today's vote just to debate that plan. Democrats plan to block it. They say the bill is fundamentally flawed.
The question simply is this: who do you trust on police reform in America? The NAACP or Mitch McConnell?
The bill, crafted by the Senate's lone black Republican Tim Scott, collects data and withholds federal funds from police that use chokeholds, but doesn't ban them outright. Republicans accuse Democrats of hindering progress.
We have Chuck Schumer with a chokehold on the Justice Act and our opportunity for police reform in America.
Meantime, President Trump
lock them up,
is promising jail time for protesters who deface statues of Confederate leaders who supported slavery.
Vandals and these hoodlums and these anarchists and agitators, they're bad people. They don't love our country.
Mr. Trump drawing a rare rebuke from his predecessor.
Facts don't matter. Science doesn't matter. Sees the Justice Department as simply an extension and an arm of the personal concerns of the president.
Justice in Washington under the microscope and in turmoil. President Trump tweets he is ready to sign police reform into law, the Republican version, and that may not even land on his desk. Several Democrats have to agree today just to debate it, and right now those numbers aren't looking likely. Tracy Potts, 17 News.